or not, right? But sometimes the counting gives the mind something to do and just helps to slow the mind down and connect the mind with the body. So maybe another breath or so, right? Breathing in, you might feel your ribs expand or your belly expand or your chest expand. As you breathe out, again, you're relaxing, softening, emptying the body of breath. Good, and then from here, we'll bring our knees into our chest, hands to the kneecaps, and just some gentle appanasanas. So as you inhale, you'll just straighten your arms. Your knees move away from you. As you exhale, you'll bend your elbows, bring your knees back into your chest. And sometimes it's hard to get the breath right, but as you breathe in, the knees move away. As you breathe out, the knees come back. Another way to say that is to inhale as you take your knees away, and exhale as you bring your knees back. And maybe another round, and you might even come back to your count as you breathe in, 2, 3, 4, taking knees away, and then count as you bring your knees back, nice and slowly. Good, and then from here you can just rest your hands and feet down to the ground. And just a nice way to kind of like begin to bring some mobility into the hips and the back. But from here, we'll take our right ankle and cross it over the left knee. And this is for hips. So we'll first take your right hand to the inside of your right thigh and just kind of press it away a bit. And you might feel a stretch into the front of your left hip, maybe up into your belly. And you may even kind of shift side to side a bit and just kind of feel how that might change the stretch within your body. And you might keep your eyes closed the whole time and just kind of feel what happens. Right? And then you can come back to center. We can release the hand, lift your legs, and then we'll reach to the back of the left leg, so the other leg. Right? Your hands will come behind the leg. You might interlace your fingers. And then you might kind of pull your arms in a bit so that we stretch now through the outside of the right hip. Maybe you can feel something in your leg, maybe up into your lower back here. And then add breath, right? Breathe in, nice deep breath in. Exhale, nice slow breath out. Again, you might add your count again or see if you can relax maybe the jaw or the face. Right? Maybe one more breath here like this. And then you can release your hands and then just rest one foot down and then the other foot down. And take a moment there, see what you can feel in your right leg, your hips, see if any sensation is there. And then we'll switch sides. So we'll take the left ankle over the right knee. And you can take your left hand to the inner thigh or wherever it feels good and just kind of press the leg away with the intention of opening up into the front of the hip here. And you might even feel something in your back as well. Right? You might, if you want to, kind of rock side to side or lean the legs to one side or the other and just see how that kind of feels in the body. Right? And then we'll come back to center and then we'll release the hand, lift your legs, reach your hands to the back of your right leg. Right? And you might activate through your arms, kind of pulling the legs in so you get a little deeper stretch on the left side. But relax your right leg, relax your right foot, relax your face, relax your jaw, and try to breathe. And again, you might add the count back in, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you inhale, and then try to breathe out slower than your exhale. Good, and then when you're ready, you can release this side and take a moment and you can relax both feet to the ground. Maybe your eyes are still closed and what do you feel in the left leg? Maybe something in the hip, maybe into the foot or the shoulder. Right? You just kind of feel, notice what we can notice. And then bring both knees into your chest again. Hands to your kneecaps. This time we're going to circle and massage the lower back. So you might make circles in one direction or the other direction, but your hands are on your knees and you're just kind of circling the knees around. And bring your awareness, feel into your lower back and your hips and kind of circle and move your legs in a way that kind of massages and feels good in that part of the body. And this helps the massage, but also it works with the fascia. It kind of builds up and makes us stiff and tense here. So you can take maybe another breath or so, just massaging the lower back. And then we'll come back to center. And then we'll rest the hands and feet down to the ground again and just take a moment. I feel there might still be some momentum or sensation in the body. Good, and then let's do a full body stretch. So extend both legs out along the mat. Take both arms overhead. A full body stretch here. Good, and then we'll come into a banana stretch where you take your right leg over to the right, the left foot over towards it, and you might adjust your upper body to the right as well, but we stretch into the left side of the body. So like the front of the hip, maybe out into the IT band, maybe you can feel a stretch into your ribs or your shoulders, right? And then again, another breath or two. Breathe in deep and full. Again, breathe out slower than your inhale. Try to relax maybe your arms or your jaw, your face. Good. Last breath there, and then you can move back through center. And maybe you take a breath in the center, but whenever you're ready, we'll switch sides. So the legs come over to the left, and you want to keep the hips grounded so you're not lifting the hip up. You want to keep both hips grounded. You may or may not switch the arms over to the left, but we'll be stretching through the right side of the body, right? And as you inhale, you might feel it stretch a little bit more. Right, as you exhale, again, see if you can relax. Slowly exhale. One more breath, and then you can come back through center when you're ready. Right, and then from here you can bend your knees, bring them into your chest again, hands to your kneecaps, and you might come back to kind of circling, or maybe you kind of just rock side to side, but massaging the lower back, the hips around your sacrum, even the tops of the glutes even, if you kind of take the knees in or farther away from you. Good, and then from here, we're going to move into table. So you can roll to your side if you like, or you can rock and roll up. Right, but we want to come on to hands and knees. And we'll do some cat-cow breaths here. Right, so hands are grounded, knees underneath hips. As you inhale, you can lower through the belly a bit, lift your head and tailbone up. And then exhale, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, lift up through your back. And this is really good for lower back stretching. As we inhale, we arch. But as we exhale, you want to really engage through your belly. Kind of hollow the belly, tuck your chin, and you'll get a nice stretch in the back. You can do another round like this. And then you might want to add on a bit where you round through your cat and take your hips back towards a child's pose. And that again will stretch lower back more. And then as you inhale, you can rise up into your table. You can arch as much as you like. As you exhale, you round back and maybe go back towards a child's pose. So getting a nice stretch through the back line of the body. Now you can do another round or two of these if you like. Right, any variation. You might even take some circles if you like some circles here. Yeah, but whenever you're ready, we'll settle into a child's pose. Right, so we'll take the knees a little wider. Big toes touch, hips come back to the heels. Forehead may rest to the ground or maybe to your body, but try to again relax into the back of your neck, relax into the jaw, and try to breathe all the way down into your lower back here, right? So your belly might expand, your lower back should stretch as the breath moves in. And this doesn't happen to us most of the time, but with practice, right, we get that mobility, we are able to take those deeper, fuller breaths and breathe down into the back. Right, so from here we'll add in a lateral stretch. So walking your hands over to the right, right, and you may contract when you move, but then try to relax again. So your arms might relax, your head might relax, and just another breath or two where your inhale expands your core so that it may stretch into the left side body a little bit more. So your ribs, maybe the hip, the back. Right, exhales are long. And then when you're ready, you can move your hands through center, right, and then we can make our way to the left. Right, and this is to stretch and lengthen into the right side body. Right, you might relax again, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, right, but breathe in, deep, deep inhale. Again, exhale, long, slow breath out. Good, last breath here, and then when you're ready, you can come back into center, and you may just take a breath or two here in the center. Good, and then we'll come back up into table with our inhale. We'll come into downward dog with the exhale. So you can bring your knees and ankles back in alignment, tuck the toes, lift the knees, and maybe you just pedal the feet up. Right, bend one knee, press the opposite heel towards the ground. Right. You're welcome to find stillness if you like. Be sure that you're not tensing in the neck. Allow the head to drop, right, and keep breathing. Good, maybe one more breath here. And then we'll just walk our feet to the top of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. And your hands may lift up here. You might even bend your knees a bit. But we'll lift up halfway, coming to a flat back with the inhale. And then exhale as you fold again, release the neck and shoulders. Again, we'll lift up halfway with the inhale. We engage through the upper back a bit. And then exhale as you fold, and be sure you release the upper back. One more time, halfway up as you inhale. Exhale as you fold, and this time we'll stay here in our standing forward fold. So I like to bend the knees, cross my hands into the elbows for what we call ragdoll, right? But you're welcome to do anything with your arms you like, if you want to take them to the body, or right? But be sure your neck is relaxed, so you're not lifting the head up, but release the tension in the back of the neck and the jaw, and keep breathing. Maybe one more breath in your forward fold. Good, and then you can release any bind you had with your arms. And we want to roll up slowly. So maybe you pull your belly button in again. You kind of round through the lower back, right? You want to round through your middle back. Even keep your chin tucked so that you stretch all the way up into your neck. Good. And then pausing at the top and just taking a moment to notice what you can feel in your body. And we'll do a half salutation. So as you inhale, we'll reach both arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Fold as you breathe out. Come to stand as you inhale. Lift your arms. Bring your hands to your heart as you exhale. And again, we'll breathe in. Lift arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift as you breathe in. And then bring your hands to your mat as you breathe out. Good. We'll step back into our downward dogs here. So just come straight back into your downward dog. Relax your neck. Relax into the jaw. And then we're going to move into a wide leg child's pose. So bringing your knees down to the mat and then taking them a little bit wider than before. Your toes may still touch. Hips come back. And then we rest our forehead down maybe to the ground or to the body. Right? But we want to begin to open up inner thighs and hips here. And you can make your knees as far as close as feels best. But again, try to breathe. Right? Deep inhales. Slower exhales are key. Right? Kind of communicating to the body to calm, to relax. Good. Maybe another breath or two. Good. And then we'll come back up into our tables and just take a few moments. You might come back to those cat-cow breaths that we did before. You might, again, do some circles, and you might come towards an upward dog or back towards a child's pose. But just a few moments in your table to just kind of explore in that space. And then we'll come back into our downward dogs when you're ready. So you can tuck the toes, lift the knees. Again, press into your hands so you're opening up through your chest and your shoulders, relaxing the neck, decompressing the vertebrae there, but we're definitely stretching the legs as well. From here, we'll lift the right foot up towards the sky, breathing in, and then we'll bring the foot to the top of the mat with the exhale. So coming into a low lunge, we'll bring the back knee down. You can untuck your back toes if you like, and your hands might be, you might want to lift up, even bring them to your knee. But we'll spend a few breaths in our lunge where we open up into the front of the left hip here, right? So sometimes we're lifting up out of this. We want to be sinking the hips down. And if your knee's like coming past your ankle a lot, you might want to scoot the foot forward more so that you get a little bit more of a stretch, right? But try to breathe. Likely you're contracted and not breathing. So again, we breathe in deep and slow. And we breathe out even more slowly. Good. Last breath here. You might even want to lift an arm up, getting up into the front of the top of the body. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you'll bring your hands down and we'll shift backwards. So hamstrings is what we often notice where we feel the stretch, but it's a lot of lower back here. So if you're rounded here, try to pull the belly forward so that you're stretching out lower back. Right, and then likely you're contracted in the upper back. We practice relaxing, rounding into the neck and the shoulders, and then this really gets a nice stretch into the back. Right, you might feel it all in your hamstrings, but if you do these things, then you are also working the lower back. So, last breath here. Right, slow breath in, slow breath out, and then we'll shift forward, and we'll come into another lunge variation, maybe a lizard this time, where you bring your hands to the big toe side of the foot, and then you scoot the foot over a bit, right? Still with the intention of sinking the hips down. And this may be more than enough, right? But some of you might have some more space where you lower your elbows down to a block. The elbows may come down to the ground. Right? Again, wherever you are, be sure you're not tense and holding the breath. Right? Allow the head to drop, allow the shoulders to relax, allow the jaw to relax, and try to keep breathing. And this is brain work that we're doing, right? It has a lot of the good effects on the body. So last breath here. And then you can come out of whatever lunge variation you're in and do whatever you want. So this is time to kind of explore. You might just come back to a child's pose and rest. You might take a little bit of movement. Again, I really recommend closing your eyes and then just feeling what's going on in the body. And that's, again, a brain exercise, but also cultivating the mind-body connection and having this healthy relationship with our bodies. Right, so when you're ready, we'll meet back in a downward dog. We'll come into our downward dog and take a moment. again, be there. Feel your hands, feel your feet, feel your arms, feel your legs, feel your core. And then lift your left foot up toward the sky as you inhale. And then step to the top of the mat as you exhale. We'll come into a lunge here, just a regular lunge where the back knee lowers. You can untuck the toes if you like. Your hands may stay down. You may lift them up, or you may even take them overhead. But focus here is the front of the hip, right? So you might, take the foot in more, out more, but we want to be able to sink down, open up, and breathe, right? If you can't breathe, maybe you're too far into the stretch and you should come out of it a bit. Right? Again, cultivating this healthy relationship in our bodies where we're not pushing them too far. Right? So last breath here, and then we can come into our hamstring stretch and back stretch. So the hands come down, and we stretch the left leg out. And you might walk your hands back. You may even grab something at home to bring your hands to, like a pillow or something if the ground seems too far away. Right? But again, practice here is to relax into the neck, the jaw, the shoulders. Right? And try to lengthen out through the lower back. So we're pulling out through the heart space. So one more breath here. A deep, deep inhale. Nice slow exhale. And then we'll lift the heart up. Lunge forward again. And this time we'll come into a lunge variation, maybe a lizard, right? Where you bring both hands to the big toe side of the foot and then scoot the foot over. And maybe not. You might just stay in the lunge that you were in before, right? But again, we're opening up into the front of the right hip. And again, you may or may not, even just maybe walk your arms out a little bit. Elbows might come down to a block or a pillow or the ground. Right? But we'll take several breaths in this lizard lunge variation. And again, breath is important. Breathe in, breathe out more slowly, and try to relax some contraction that might be in your jaw or in your hands or in your belly or in your hips or in your legs or your toes or wherever this unnecessary contraction might be. Good, and then when you're ready, you can come out. Right? And again, just several breaths to do whatever you would like. And you might, again, keep your eyes closed and just kind of make it up. It doesn't have to be a specific yoga pose. It can just be organic or somatic movement or stillness or whatever you need for your body, your heart, your mind today. Good. When you're ready, we'll come back into our downward dogs. So tucking toes, lift the knees. Maybe you paddle the feet out here, maybe you just find stillness. But from here, let's lift the right foot up towards the sky with your inhale, and then we'll bring the knee to the top of the mat with the exhale. So we're coming back into a pigeon variation. So knee comes down, foot comes over to the left, and then your back knee comes down, and we sink both hips down. Right, for this, you might lift upright if you like to open up into the front of your left hip. Right, but often we fold forward where we bring our elbows down to the ground. Forehead may come to the body or the ground or pillow or something at home. But we're stretching again through the right side of the body. And try to breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out more slowly. Right, maybe relax someplace, toes or hands, or right, we're just again exploring our body, moving away from the mind and the story that might be there and coming down into the body and just connecting with it and again relaxing those areas that unconsciously tense and tighten up. Right, so whenever you're ready, you can come out of this, right, and you might add on, like I said, there's some from the kids at home, I don't know if they're still around, might be a fun mermaid where you bend your back leg, right, reach your left hand back for your foot, and you take the foot into the elbow and then the hands together. And then, those are just fun things to try. There were some kids at home that wanted some, but you're welcome to try that. You're welcome to come back to your cat-cow breaths. You're welcome to find a child's pose, right, flow if you like, so this time in between the poses. Yay, she did it. Beautiful. That is a good stretch for quads and hearts, and yeah, very good. We have nimble little girls at home. All right, so when you're done doing what you want, then we meet in our downward dogs and we switch sides. But first we come into downward dog and we take a moment just to be here, right? Feel into your hands, your legs, your arms, your feet, all of it. And then we'll lift the left foot up to the sky with an inhale, and then bring the knee to the top of the mat with the exhale. So the foot will work towards the opposite side of the mat. Right? The back knee comes down, we sink our hips down. And again, you might lift up, opening into the front of your right hip more here, right? Especially if you're seated a lot or driving a lot or whatever, right? We want to open up into this space, right? And then whenever you're ready, you're welcome to fold forward, and the stretch will move more into the left hip back area, right? And likely you're contracted and not breathing. So our practice is to relax the tension that's built up in the contraction and then breathe. Move in, move the breath in fully. Move the breath out more slowly. Okay? This sometimes sounds weird, but you might be able to let just a little bit of breath out at a time, right? Kind of like you're breathing out through a straw or something, right? To help to kind of slow the exhale down. And maybe another breath or so in your pigeon. And then, again, you can come out of this and do whatever you want, right? If you want to do the mermaid on this side, it's lifting the heart up, right? You can bend the back leg, reach for the foot. You might just build in this quad stretch here, right? Again, none of this is necessary, all optional, right? The foot may come into the elbow, and the opposite hand reaches up. We call this mermaid, right? So definitely not necessary, but optional if you like. So a few breaths again, just to do whatever you would like. And then this time when you're ready, we'll meet in a seated posture. So coming to sit. And we'll do Baddha Konasana, which is another good one for hips and lower back. Right? We bring the soles of the feet together, we open the knees out, and you might feel a stretch in the inner thighs and hips. But we want to sit up tall, right? See how we're kind of lifting up out of the tailbone, and try to fold, pull the belly through the thighs so that we're stretching out through the lower back space. And then you probably won't be able to go too far, but we around through the upper spine, relaxing the neck and shoulders, and you might feel the stretch move into your back more as you release that contraction that's held in the neck space, right? So maybe two or so breaths, and feel what happens as you inhale. The breath may stretch your back more, right? As you inhale, the ribs expand, and then as you exhale, your exhales are slow and complete, and you try to relax, like this intentional relaxing. Good, and then when you're ready, you can lift your head back up. Again, just a moment or two to do whatever you like. Just noticing how you feel within the body. Good, and then we'll do we'll do a seated twist. So you'll take your right ankle and cross it over the left knee. Again, you want to stay grounded in your sit bones. And we'll sit up tall, breathing in, and then you'll twist to your right as you breathe out. And again, good way to stretch the lower back as long as you stay really grounded in your sit bones. Right? And you might rotate your right shoulder back. You might turn your right chin over the shoulder. Try to breathe. Again, that's important. Inhale, slower exhale. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to center. And you might take a breath or two for yourself. Again, counter twist or stretch, maybe some neck stretches. Right, but then we'll switch sides, taking the left ankle over the right knee. And again, we want to sit up tall, right, lifting up out of the hips. And then twist to your left. And then you can use the hand to the leg for some leverage. Right? You might engage through the back of your left shoulder to rotate the left shoulder back more. And maybe turn the chin and look over the shoulder. Last deep breath in. Longer breath out. And then back through center as you inhale. Get a moment or two to do whatever you like here with your exhales. Good. And then a seated forward fold. And again, oftentimes we feel everything in our hamstrings because our backs are so tight they don't move, and there's no sensation there. When we fold, this doesn't move, so then our hamstrings are being pulled, and that's where we feel we're like, oh, our hamstrings are so tight, but really it's our lower back. So maybe at home you just bend your knees some, or you might even slide something under your knees to give them a little bit of bend, but let this fold be more so on trying to fold from your hips. So think about getting your belly to your thighs so that we get this stretch through our lower backs, and then as we round and release the contraction in the upper backs, again, we get more of a stretch through our backs, and the hamstrings don't feel it as much, but we're actually, we're getting into the back more. And then when your breath moves in, right, the body should expand like a balloon that expands, and we stretch into the back. Right, as you exhale, you might be able to relax a bit and soften into your stretch. Okay, one more breath here, big inhale. Good, long exhale. And then you can slowly lift your head back up. And again, just a few moments just to kind of feel and notice how you feel. Do whatever the body needs or the heart needs. Good, and then we'll move to another, I'm having trouble with the time because it's shorter than what I'm used to. So I'm like, I don't know if I have time for this or not. But let's do one more forward fold. Just come into an easy seat where your ankles are not crisscross applesauce, but one ankle is in front of the other ankle. So both are on the ground, if that makes sense. And then from here, again, sit up tall as you inhale. And then we'll walk our hands out in front of us with the exhale. And again, we want to allow the head to drop down. And then we'll just take 2 more deep inhales. Slow exhales. Good. 1 more breath here. And then walk your hands over to one side, just a little bit. Right? And just take 1 breath on that side. Breathe in, breathe out. And then as you inhale, walk your hands through center. And then go over to the other side as you exhale. And then take 1 breath in, 1 breath out. And then come back through center as you inhale. And then you can slowly walk your hands back up with the exhale. And then just pause at the top, right? Take a moment, feel the energy in the head, the neck, the shoulders, the back. Good, and now we'll come to our backs. So you can come to lay on your back. Bring your knees into your chest again, hands to your kneecaps, and you might again come back to circling or rocking side to side so that you're massaging the lower back around your sacrum, maybe even the tops of the glutes, right? So you might just close your eyes and just kind of move your legs and arms in a way that feels good in that lower part of the body. Good, and then we'll come back to center and we'll work with some twists. So knees come into the chest, arms open out to the sides at a T, so shoulder height. And when we twist, think about engaging your core with the exhale. So just as you're here, take an inhale, and as you exhale, try to pull your belly button down towards the mat, right? And this is a good way to keep the lower back protected. But we'll breathe in. This time we'll take the knees to the left with the exhale, but try to pull your belly button in towards your spine as you exhale. And then come back through center as you breathe in. And then take your knees to the right as you breathe out. But again, that core contraction, pulling the belly button in. Do that again, back through center as you inhale. Knees to your left as you exhale. Back through center again as you breathe in. And then knees to the right as you breathe out. Good. This time we'll come through center. And then you can take your knees to your left as you exhale and then just leave them there. We'll come into our twist where you relax the legs over to the left. Try to relax your feet, relax your arms, relax your jaw again, right? And breathe. Right? 2 more breaths in your twist. So we're staying in the twist, but we're moving the breath in and out super slow. Right? Last breath here. And then with your next inhale, we'll come back through center. And you might take your exhale here. Maybe tuck the knees in a bit more. Take another in-breath, and then knees to your right as you exhale. Good, and then allow the feet to relax, legs to relax, arms, jaw, hands to relax, and then 2 more breaths. And your inhale, we want the body to fill up like a balloon filling up with air. So it should stretch, right? The balloon stretches, a rib stretch, the back stretches, the chest stretches, right? As we exhale, we empty and deflate like a balloon, so getting all the breath out. Good, and then whenever you're ready, you can come back through center. And bring your hands to your kneecaps again. We'll come back to those appanasanas. So as you breathe in, the knees move away from you, just enough to straighten arms. And as you breathe out, the knees come back into your chest. Okay, 2 more like that. You might close your eyes. Breathe in as you move the knees away. And then breathe out as you bring your knees back into your chest. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, knees away. Exhale as you bring the knees back. Good, and then from here you can rest your hands and feet down to the ground and just take a breath there. We'll get into hips again, bringing the soles of the feet together and opening the knees out away from each other. Right, so we're opening up inner thighs and hips. Notice if you've contracted, you're kind of arching your lower back up. Right, try to maybe tuck your tailbone, right? So the lower back is still grounded. And you may even maintain a little bit of core contraction here just to kind of keep the lower back protected, right? But face relaxes, jaw relaxes. You can adjust your arms if you want to take them any place else, right? But keep breathing, right? Try to breathe in full and deep. Again, breathe out a little bit slower than your exhale. Maybe a lot slower here as we approach the end of our class. Right? Your inhales are still full. Your exhales might begin to really, really, really slow down here so that they might even become twice as long as your inhale. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you can come out of this. Again, take a few moments for yourself. Again, you find stillness, you might take some movement, right? But you might keep your eyes closed and just notice what you feel within the body. Good, and then from here, we'll bring our, we're going to do a few dynamic bridge poses. So you'll bring your feet in close to your buttocks, in line with your hips and your knees, so not too wide or close. Hands are at your sides, palms face down. As you inhale, we'll lift the hips and the hands, backs of the hands touch the ground. Exhale, roll your hips and hands back down to the ground. So try to round from your upper spine down. And then inhale again, lift your hips and hands up. As you exhale, try to roll down so you kind of round between your shoulder blades, round through your middle back. Try to contract the core a bit so you round through the lower back as you come down. Maybe another round or two like that. It helps to close your eyes, so I used to try to get that articulation in your spine as you round down nice and slowly. Good, and then after your next one, you can just rest and relax your hands and feet down to the ground, maybe a cleansing breath there. And then we'll come into our happy baby pose. So knees come into the chest, but then open the knees out towards the armpits. The feet open up towards the sky, and you might reach for the feet or the ankles or the calves, right? But coming into a happy baby pose, you might be still or you may rock a bit. Sometimes rocking side to side is nice. Again, good way to massage the lower back, but also kind of work around the hips. And you can even bend and straighten into your legs as you rock. Or you can be still, right? Your choice, but maybe another breath here. Good, and then you can release your legs. Take a few moments, again, just to explore this. You might want stillness, you might take movement, but notice how you feel in your body, really important. And then bring your knees to your chest again, and we'll extend the left leg out along the mat. Right, so just stretch that left leg out, allow it to relax, and you might feel a bit of a stretch into the front of the left hip here, right? And then we're going to add just a few knee circles. So right hand to your right knee, left hand can go wherever's comfortable, but we'll circle the right knee out as you inhale, and then circle it back around as you exhale. And then repeat that as you breathe in, circling it out, and then exhaling as you circle it back. Good. Again, breathing in and breathing out. Good. Now try to go in the opposite direction. So just rotate in the opposite direction. We'll still connect the breath. So you still inhale as you circle out, exhale as you come back, right? But you should be rotating in the opposite direction. Nice, slow, mindful movement, feeling what happens as you rotate all the way around. They might have little crunchy areas or little areas that have a little extra sensation. Good. And then we'll come back to center, and then just allow your right knee to open out to the right. And you can adjust the hand placement. Sometimes taking the hand to the top of the knee is good, sometimes under the knee, but we do want to kind of open out, and we're opening up into all of this space here, which affects lower back stuff. Sometimes we're so tight in the front of our hips that it tilts our pelvis, and then it causes lower back pain. So just again, a little extra work in the front of the hips with the intention of helping lower back. Good, and then we'll come back to center, and I'm going to do one more twist. So you'll take your opposite hand to knee, and your right arm out to your right side, shoulder height, and then you'll guide your knee over to the left. And so deeper twist than we did before. This should stretch maybe through your arm, through your shoulder, through your rib, through your back and your hip, maybe out through the outside of the right leg. Okay, one more breath in. Again, long, long breath out. And then you can come back through center, inhale, and then just again, a few breaths to do whatever you like. We'll switch sides in a moment, right? But maybe you need some movement, maybe some stillness. I have a fan on that I need to turn off because it's cold here. Oops, wrong one. There, no. I got it. All right. Then, when you're ready, we'll come back into knees to chest, hands to your kneecaps. And this time, we'll stretch the right leg out along the mat. And so right leg stretches out. You might take both hands to the knee or shin first and just give it a pull. Our intention may be to open up into the front of the right hip a bit here as well as the left hip. Right, and then we'll add the knee circle. So left hand to the knee, right hand wherever's comfortable. As you inhale, you'll circle the knee out. And then exhale as you circle it back. And again, you'll breathe in, circling the knee out. Exhaling as you circle it back. Good, one more time. And maybe your eyes are closed and you're just feeling the whole way around. Good, and then we'll reverse directions. Right, so you'll go the other way. And then try to add the breath. So it's an inhale as you circle it out. And then exhale as you circle it around. Good, two more. Right, eyes might be closed. Again, jaw is relaxed. Your right side maybe can relax. Right, try to keep the breath connected with the movement. Right, and then from here, we'll come back to center. And then we'll just open the knee out to the left. And you can adjust, again, how you place your left hand, if you want it on top or, whatever. But try to relax your shoulders, your chest. Allow the knee to just kind of fall out to the side. The foot might hover above the ground. It's okay. The foot, just doesn't touch. But try to take another breath here. In. Again, longer breath out. Good. And then we can come back to center. And we're going to do one more twist here. And so right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left arm opens out to the side, shoulder height, and you'll guide your knee over to the right. And this should stretch through the whole left side of the body. A couple breaths in. Slower breaths out. One more breath. Good, and then we'll come back through center. Get a moment or two for yourself. You might bring knees into chest, come back to kind of fascia work, or you might just ground your feet. Our next pose together will be our Shavasana, right? So if you want to, you can add in anything else before Shavasana. But I will give you cues for Shavasana so you know where to go whenever you're ready. I sit up for Shavasana, right? But you guys are all supposed to lay down when you're done. Right? When you're done doing your stretch or your twist or whatever you need. Shavasana is done laying down on the back. Legs and arms extended out. Right? So the legs are a little wider than hip distance. Toes roll out for a little external rotation of your legs. However, if your lower back hurts here, it's better to bend your knees, ground your feet, and bring your knees together so that the pelvis is tilted, the lower back is grounded, right? And that should feel better, but your choice. Arms come to the sides, a little bit of space between the arms and the ribs, and maybe an external rotation of the arms so that the chest and the heart space is open. Right, and then we allow the breath to just fall into its own rhythm. And you might close your eyes and just scan your body and look for any areas of contraction, right? Because they're there, it's normal, it's our human nature, but it's unhealthy, right? We tense up and we carry this stress and tension in our necks and our shoulders and our jaws, and it causes neck pains and back pains and headaches, and we carry stress in our hips and our bellies and our backs, and it causes these pains in our bodies. So we have to practice checking in and feeling what is there. So we feel into the jaw, we relax it, we feel into the forehead, we relax it, we feel into the neck, we relax it. The throat softens, the chest softens, the belly, the back, the hips, the legs, the feet, the toes. We have to consciously kind of relax these areas. And then we keep coming back into the body and into relaxing, because what's normal is our attention will wander back up into the mind, and we'll begin thinking, and our body will begin to contract again. So our practice is to notice when you're thinking, right? Notice what it might be, but then choose to come back down into body. Feel into your hands, your feet, your jaw. Right? Feel how the breath moves, expanding and contracting the body. Right? Without alternating the breath at all, we just feel. Right? We feel how the breath moves in, the breath moves out. You might be able to feel your heart beating. You might be able to feel some tingling in your hands or your shoulders or your heart space. And you might be able to feel a pulse or vibration. And maybe with your inner ear you can hear a pulse or vibration. Maybe again with your eyes closed, with your inner eyes, you may see colors. Right? But we just keep kind of coming back to here, right, when our attention may wander away. Maybe come back. So just a few more moments here. One more moment where you are. And maybe taking an extra deep breath here, using your breath to reawaken your body. You can allow some movement to come back into your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet and your arms and your legs. When you're ready, you can bend your knees and make your way to lie on either side in the fetal position, just taking maybe a breath or two on your side. And then whenever you're ready, you can press back up to seated. So we end our practice by bringing our hands to our heart. And we take a moment to thank ourselves for our practice that we've done for our bodies, our minds, and our hearts. Right? And I thank each of you so much for your practices. Namaste.